What's up guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. If you clicked on this, you already know I'm in a super jolly mood today, and that's because we've officially qualified for the Brawl Cup. So in today's video, I'll be breaking down some of our qualifier games, giving you guys an inside look at the strategies, plays, as well as the thought process that helped us to make it through. So if you've ever wondered what goes through a pro player's mind mid-match, this one's for you. But before we dive right into the gameplay, let me just quickly walk you through how the qualification format works. So the Brawl Cup features the top 8 teams in the world. As you can see on screen here, it's made up of the top 2 teams from Europe, top 2 from North America, top 1 from South America, top 1 from East Asia, top 1 from China, as well as top 1 from the sub-regions, which are Southeast Asia and South Asia. So these 8 teams will compete for a total prize pool of 50,000 USD. And for our sub-region, the top 2 teams from each sub-region actually plays a BO5, and the winners of those matches then face off in the BO5 Grand Finals. So whoever came out on top will represent both SEA and SA at the Brawl Cup. And spoiler alert, we came out on top. So without further ado, let's hop right into the games. Okay, hopping right into the games, firstly we have Ring of Fire. So we are facing Youngblood, which is basically a team that we have been facing all year long so far. So it consists of Primey, Hiroshi and Vex. And I think needless to say, these are really good players. So we do ban out the Lumi. I think Lumi is probably the best brawler in the game right now. We have definitely experienced a lot of broken Lumi gameplay in scrims, which is why we banned it out. And we kind of just agreed that this is a brawler that we should never ever give opponents for first pick, and if it's ever given to us, we'll more or less just always take it. And Surgeon plays a really good Lumi as well, which is why we are not afraid to pick Lumi if it's ever open. So they do go with a Hank. I would say that this is probably not the best first pick. I think maybe they had their own strategies and they thought that maybe if they ban Chester and Draco, then Hank would be really strong. But we felt like there were many other tank counters here, such as Mac especially. I think Mac is a brawler that is really underrated in Hot Zone. So we just picked Mac up, and Mac is the type of brawler where the hypercharge charges really quickly. So you're gonna see in the game how many hypercharges I get and the amount of damage I'm able to put out. And Lu is also just something that, it's just one of the more traditional tank counters, right? So which is why we picked that up as well. So they responded with a Lola and Ollie, and in this type of comp, Lola is obviously the only consistent damage dealer, which is why we went with a last pick Frank. So basically we were just trying to pick tanky brawlers because they didn't have much consistent damage. So even if they could get 1 or 2 kills, we'll always be the one standing on the zone and taking more zone time. Okay, going into the game, I think the game plan here, we just wanted to put Sergeant on the left. Honestly in this map, as long as they don't really get into our zone, so in this position here, it's perfectly fine for us to let the Ollie come in, because we can just walk up and pressure the Lola as well. So in this case I can just walk back and it's perfectly fine, because there's no way that Hank will ever win a Lu on the other side. So it's perfectly fine for us to let them come in on one side and for us to just rotate backwards. So here response could just go right, but instead we have asked response to just push up from the mid. Reason being, we can just continue taking zone and just keep dodging around. And yeah, Surgeon is the one that actually responds to Vex over there. And yeah, I get pushed by both Primey and Hiroshi, but as you can see, we have already taken almost 60% of zone time. So yeah. And response gets a very nice stun, Sergeant gets a very nice hypercharge. He does miss a shot there, but I'm able to clean it up with my hypercharge super. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you can see how fast I do charge my hypercharge with this brawler. You're going to notice in the next games as well that max hypercharge is just insanely broken on Hot Zone, especially into tanks. So it's a brawler that we didn't really know was this broken on Hot Zone, but we only kind of figured out in scrims, so yeah. And yeah, that wraps up game 1. I would say it's a pretty clean game 1, and definitely couldn't really ask for more coming into an important series like this. It's definitely always important to have a good start, so yeah. Okay, going into game 2, we were kind of trying to anticipate what they would change up, but I think regardless of whatever adaptations they made, all we needed to do was just keep pressuring the Lola. So as long as response didn't randomly rotate left or rotate right, we should be chilling. So here Response does the same thing and he just goes up. He gets a very nice stun. Unfortunately I lose my big Mac, but I think it's perfectly fine. And as you can see, we already have 25%, and if you look at my hypercharge, I already have my hypercharge in like the first few minutes of the game. Not even minutes, first few seconds of the game. And yeah, we're just in a really good spot now. Vex tries to push up, but no avail. And I get a very nice triple swipe there. Yeah, I get another one. Yeah, but unfortunately I get sniped by Vex. And I probably could have dodged that honestly, but it's fine. Like, even in small Mac, I'm still able to stay on the zone. So I think Prime tries to come in here. Yeah, he does. He gets frozen. I do manage to pick up the kill. I'm just staying in the zone now to try to take as much zone as possible. And Response does a very nice play here where he just doesn't attack, like he just walks around to prevent himself from getting one-shotted by the hang. So yeah, just like that, we pick up the first set win. And as you can see, Mac was just really strong into that comp. So moving on to set 2, it's pinhole pun. So I would say that, I mean the Lumi ban is obvious because Lumi is really broken, so we didn't want to give that. But I would say that my team is a team that really likes aggressive brawlers. So on this map we have noticed in scrims that we really like brawlers like Buster, Chester, Sandy, Max. These type of brawlers that you can get into the mid grass and just dodge around. So that was our game plan right off the bat. So here they picked Lu first pick, which is definitely a very strong pick. Like it's definitely one of the better tank counters here. And we responded with a Frank as well as a Max if I'm not wrong. And we were also considering Stu. As you can see, I'm hovering Stu here. But we decided to go Max eventually because it's easier to score goals with Max. Let's see what they respond with. Okay, they respond with a Buster, which is a good pick as well. But the issue for their comp now is that they kind of lack a little bit of damage. So we're just waiting for their last pick here, and yeah, we were considering Squeak as well. If they went with something like an Otis, something with damage, we would probably have went Squeak. But because they went with another tank, we just went with El Primo because I would say Max and 2 tanks definitely would be able to score goals easier versus their comp. So that's what we went with. And yeah, as you can see, we are all taking the speed SP because we all want to just get into the mid bush and dodge. So you're going to see some rather questionable gameplay here, and I will explain myself for this. So right into the game, I do try to make a dash onto the ball here, and I miss and I die. And this is a terrible start to the game. As you can see, Hiroshi gets his Lu super literally 10 seconds into the game. It's not what you want to see, but Surgeon makes a really clutch defense. So yeah, it's not over yet, and we do have ball control here. So I pass it over to Respawn. I'm just shooting a bit. I do have my speed very soon. I think I give it to Surgeon here. Yeah, I do. And we do make a small push here. Yeah, as you can see, this game is really messy. I mean, it's bound to be messy when there are 4 tanks in the game. So here, I would say it's probably where we made our first major mistake. I think I probably could have rotated over to the right to catch the ball earlier, because I just didn't expect that the Ollie would be able to do something like that. And here once again I try to get the ball, but unfortunately I do just get pulled by the Buster. So yeah, probably not the best play from me. Here we are just trying to maintain, like, regain control, I mean. And because my gadget is on cooldown, I can't really dash. Surgeon misses the jump, but somehow he manages to get the defense off, which is really nice. And unfortunately, Vex has the shield, so the stun doesn't go off, and they die here. And yep, they are on the board finally. So this is where we drop our first loss of the series. And I remember us saying that we definitely had to change something. So the biggest and most obvious change would obviously be for us to just play a bit slower. Like, I shouldn't be dashing for the ball at the start. I think we can just play with range. And anyways, this is on Singapore server, so I have 0 ping, as you can see. And it's probably not that hard for me to hit shots and get a speed eventually. So our game plan after losing that first game was just to kind of wait for my speed and push when we have the max speed. Yeah, I did not know that Ollie was in there, but thankfully I can just like auto aim him down. So here we have control back again very soon, I think, after I speed response. Yeah, we regain control of the mid. Unfortunately I die here, but okay, that's probably not the best there, but at the very least we still have ball control and there's no way for them to score. So here I'm just trying to farm my speed, kind of getting dodged out. And yeah, here response makes a very nice save there. Like if he didn't make that save, they would definitely have scored. And yeah, it's like really messy, as you can see. Yeah, we just ignore the loose super there. And I speed myself because I know that in that position I'm definitely able to get a lot of shots. So as you can see, I almost have another super here. I do get back my super and I pass up. And Surgeon does a very nice flip into responses super. And yeah, that's how we get our first goal. So here I do have my hyper charge and I think I give it to my team. Yes, we do. And here I'm just walking up. As you can see, I'm flipping them a lot. I do speed myself again just so I can pressure the Lu, keep the Lu low, so that my tanks can win out the tank battle. And here I see that they're both very low, so I go for this hero play, and somehow I managed to get both of them and super the ball in. So yeah, that was a really clutch play. Honestly, I remember being quite hyped about that during the match because it's kind of nerve-wracking to be losing a game in such an important series, so thankfully we are able to bounce back. So yeah, same thing here. Obviously we would play a lot slower and just wait for my max speeds, but more importantly would be, I think in this game I definitely tried to focus the Lu a bit more. So rather than shooting the Buster and Ollie, I was just trying to pressure the Lu as much as I could. Prime makes a really nice play there where he actually stops responses super, but we are able to get a max speed and score. So here I'm halfway to my max speed, and as you can see I'm just... Okay, I do have my max speed now, and response misses the super, but I think I get a lot of damage onto Prime here, and I speed myself, and yeah, I'm just barely able to catch that, and somehow I'm able to get a kill onto Prime as well. I was not expecting to get a kill, in all honesty. And oh my god, I remember this. Okay, you're gonna see something very questionable soon. I make a very nice dash to prevent dying here. And it's not on the screen, but as you can see, Sergeant passed Vex the ball and donated them a goal, which is some very questionable gameplay, but it's fine. It's all good. And yeah, we do have speed, and Sergeant's going ham. We get a kill on the Ollie, and they do clear the ball. And okay, there's no more action for now. The good news is I have my speed again and I'm pressuring the Lu. Here I give my team the speed, and as you can see I'm pressuring the Lu again. I do get a kill onto the Lu. Unfortunately responses super gets cancelled. Here Sergeant makes a very interesting jump, but honestly it looks funny in game, but in hindsight it's not actually that bad because he gets the ball and I do the max super and gadget thing to give speed to my whole team, and yep, that's how we close out the second set. So hopping into the third and hopefully final set, it's Shooting Star. So Shooting Star, once again we have last pick. I'm honestly not sure whether first pick or last pick is favoured in this meta. I feel like we had drafts prepared for both sides, so it's kind of tricky now to draft, so we were okay with having either first or last pick, honestly. So they did go with the Angelo first pick, and we went with RT for sure. I don't actually remember what we went other than RT. What did we go? Oh yeah, we went with RT and Max. So I think in scrims, this was one of the maps that we were kind of struggling with, because we are obviously a team that likes to play very aggressively. So whenever we get brawlers like Gus, RT, or like Tick, where we just sit back, someone is always going to want to make a play and kind of like mess up. So instead of doing that, we just went with a Max. And yeah, I would say I play a pretty decent Max here. So yeah, and Max also, another good thing about Max on this map is that you're able to get the first star with the gadget at the very beginning. So first star is obviously very important on this map. And we do close out the comp with a Juju. We were thinking to go Ollie last pick as well if they didn't go to Lola, but I think Ollie will be really hard into a Lola because Lola has a lot of damage. Hopping into the game, I gadget the Angelo shot and I dodge the Pierce, I think. Yep, I do dodge the Pierce. And yeah, this is perfect start for us. So as you can see, I do make the rotation to the left. I do call for this rotation because the only way we ever lose is if I'm laning the Lola. So as you can see, I'm just trying to avoid the Lola as much as possible. The thing about Lola versus Max is that he'll eventually get a super off me, and I don't really have any kill pressure on him. So what that means is like a Lola has 8.5k health. There's no way I'm ever gonna be killing the Lola unless I somehow hit like 5 full clips in a row, which is objectively, realistically not happening in a real game. So yeah, we do have mid control because we have a Juju that can just stand on the water in the bushes and have longer range. So we're just keeping our lanes, that's the game plan. The whole game plan is just for me to be on the Gus or the Angelo, and the other lanes don't really matter as much. So as you can see, we have a 5-0 lead. We are definitely chilling here. Yeah, I'm just dashing out to be safe because the Angelo already wasted a super. I think Surgeon tries to go for a play here, but he has to use his pet just to body block in case he dies. And as you can see, we can see that the Lola is trying to swap, so we also do make a rotation here. And I'm pretty sure Prime could have popped his super there, but I'm not sure why he did not. So he does go down, and that extends our lead to a 7-0. So honestly, 7-0, we just need to not get team wiped. The only way we lose is if we get team wiped, and we do pick up the kill on Prime, so even if we get team wiped now, it's not enough. And yeah, I would say that is a very clean first game from us. We just have to replicate that, and yeah. Okay, hopping into set 3 game, what am I saying? Set 3 game 2. This is match point. So if we win this, we are going to the grand finals. And as you can see, the game plan is still the same. We are putting response on the Lola. And as you can see, they're playing way more aggressively, but thankfully we do have response rotating in time, so we are able to get the trade, even though Sergeant goes down. And here the Angelo goes way too aggressively, and I do get my speed as well, which is why we just fully commit onto Vex, and we also get a kill there. So here we're 8-2 in the lead. I mean, this is a very substantial lead for us. Honestly, the only way we lose this is if we throw. So here I go for this play. Unfortunately, I do get hit by the Angelo, and I do get hit again. But I'm able to hit some really nice shots onto Prime and get a kill there. So that was a slightly risky play from me, but thankfully it paid off. And Surgeon here, as you can see, goes for another risky play, and thankfully that also pays off because Response is able to get a snipe. I do speed them here. I'm not sure if this is the best speed, but I think I'm able to get most of it back. As you can see, my joystick actually, I think my finger went off my screen, which is why I like suddenly stopped moving for a little bit. But it's all good because I didn't die. And yeah, I do have my hypercharge here, which I will be saving for the very end of the game. It's 14-5, so we have a 9-star lead. As long as we do not get team wiped, we are gonna be winning. So here I think I walk towards Sergeant and give him the hyper speed. And I wanted to go and make a play on top, but just to be safe, I'm just gonna run all the way back because I have 4 stars and the blue star. As long as I don't die, we are winning. And yeah, just like that, this was a pretty one-sided series, I would say. I guess we've been facing this team a couple of times already, and every single time we've faced them, it's been pretty close. So we were really glad to be able to pull through with it being so one-sided in a sense. But yeah, GG's to them. And There is going to be a second part to this video, which is the grand finals, and I will be uploading that in a few days. So do keep a lookout on that. And if you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you guys.